Florent?
Yeah, my name is Florent. Yes, it's difficult to say when you're an English speaker.
No, not the
Yeah, the R is terrible. Yeah, I know. And
It's beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about.
thank you,
You can say it. It's easy.
Florent.
Cool.
No, you won't be able to. Don't try. And so we are showing a game called Burying My Love. It's a game about a Syrian couple, Noor and Majd, and they live in homes. And someday there's a bombing attack, and Noor, she loses her sister, and she was the last member of her family who was still alive. So Noor decides to leave Syria and to find refuge in Germany. But Majd, he can't come with her because he has his mother and his grandfather, and he has to take care of them. So they are split apart. And the only way they have to keep in touch is through an application, a WhatsApp-like application. And so you are going to play as Majd and try to advise Noor as best you can in order for her to have the best journey possible. Of course, there will be lots of bumps in the road and lots of tough situations to be confronted to. But hopefully, if you do a good job, you will help her to reach safety. So that's completely text-based. You'll send text messages to each other, and it's inspired from obviously true stories, but more specifically by the true story of Dana, a girl who is now living in Germany. And we read an article about her like 2 years ago when she was telling her story, how she kept in touch with her family through WhatsApp, and it was so moving that we decided to contact her. And she accepted to consult on the game because she was really enthusiastic that someone would make a game about this specific story. So she helped us in order for the story to be as realistic as possible, even though it's a fiction. And so now it's almost done. It's going to be out at the end of the month. And it's a game in real time, so you play in your smartphone. And when Noor is away, you don't have any news from her until the moment that you get a notification that she's back and she needs you, and then you continue playing. So a playthrough can last for a week or so, but you will play only in small chunks because she won't always be available for you, of course, because she is having a journey and it's quite complicated. She has a lot of things to deal with. So.
You say it's happening, you literally play it on your own phone.
Yeah, totally. You really play it exactly as if you were chatting with someone through WhatsApp, except it's not WhatsApp, it's an interface we developed, but it's exactly the same principle. And there are 19 different endings, so it really all depends on what advice you are going to give her. The point is, you don't know in advance what are the consequences of your choice. So it's a little bit unfair as a game, but it's completely on purpose because we wanted to show people and make people understand what it's like to be unable to really help someone you love only by giving her advice, and maybe good advice, but maybe also not so good advice. So that's completely based on the experience that we gathered when we were documenting on the subject.
Definitely relying heavily on
On what, sorry? Completely. Yeah, that's one of the points. We are not an NGO. Our goal is not to brainwash people into thinking that migrants are the best people in the world. There are good people, there are bad people, every kind of people, exactly like anyone else. The point is that we really wanted people to think that when they see migrants, in Paris there are a lot of migrants that arrive there and don't know where to go. When they see them, think about the fact that they also have a family, people who love them and people who miss them, and they are in tough situations. And if our game can help them understand that, it's a good thing.
So, you said like you read the story that was the inspiration for making this game.
Yes.
Do you have the impetus or the momentum to do this beforehand or to make games like this?
Yeah, actually, my company, the Pixel Hunt, is really specialized in reality-inspired game. I think reality is full of very interesting stories, and I think games as a medium shouldn't be afraid to tackle those issues and to talk about what happens in the world. That's my point of view, and that's why I'm doing video games. So obviously when I learned about the migrants' so-called crisis, I thought it's a very important issue. It's all over the news nowadays in Europe. And maybe it would be interesting to make a game about that, but I didn't know what kind of game I could make. And when I read the article, and when I met with Dana online. She was completely not what I thought a migrant would be, because my head was full of cliches and everything. And I said to myself, if I'm able to be so mistaken, lots of people are also. So let's make a game to share with them what I've learned when I talked to Dana. And I hope that's the case with Growing My Love.
So I kind of asked already, but maybe you guys sort of summarize why are games specifically meaningful to you?
Well, the first thing is I've been playing video games since I was 7. And I'm 37, so that's 30 years of gaming, and I never stopped playing. So obviously that's part of my life, and that's part of who I am. Yeah, completely. But the point is, I'm kind of frustrated with games sometimes. For 30 years, I've been saving princesses and slashing monsters and throwing fireballs, and that's cool, you know? But I'm deeply convinced that it's not the only thing games can do. So, as a game developer, I want to try to spread the spectrum of what games can be. And so that's why I decided to make games about real-life events. I've been a journalist for 10 years, and someday I decided, let's stop writing articles, let's use the medium I like the most to express myself, so let's make video games about those real-life issues.
Do you have a specific game that's meaningful to you?
There's one game that I really love. There's lots of games that I really love, but one specifically is Grim Fandango. It's an adventure game. It's one of the first times in my life when I really fell in love with the game, because the setting was so odd and bizarre, because the character was so powerful. He is a total loser, Emmanuel Calavera is a total loser, and yet you feel compelled to help him reach the solace. And I really love everything about this game. And I think that's the turning point. At that moment, the emotions I felt there when playing Grim Fandango, that's when I knew I would never stop playing video games my entire life.
Yeah, the girl you dumped when you're trying to get her back.
So you're trying to get it back?
No.
Who did your artwork?
No,
it's an illustrator called Mathieu Godet, and he's an animator also. So he made some bits of animation for the game's trailer, and he's really wonderful.
No, I actually really like the style.
Actually, most of the time he's a pixel artist. So when he came to me and told me, I would like to try to work on your game, and I told him, no, it's definitely not your style. And he told me, let me try. And he showed me this, and I said, okay, you're hired.
Rachel. Why are you giving Rachel your Wi-Fi password? Rachel, does this mean you only talk to me when you need something? Are you even